You listen to me, don't you never try to buy no house there in Washington, D.C., cause it's a bourgeois town.
At the beginning of World War II, labor leader A. Philip Randolph, National Council of Negro Women President Mary McLeod Bethune, and NAACP Secretary Walter White began organizing a mass march on Washington to demand an end to segregation. President Roosevelt was so frightened of the prospect, he issued an executive order authorizing a Fair Employment Practices Commission, FEPC, in return for calling off the march. Civil rights leaders then called on Capital Transit to hire African American operators on its streetcars and buses in 1942. Rallies were called, and Adam Clayton Powell, an African American soon to be elected to Congress, addressed the crowd. The refusal to integrate meant service was cut and streetcars stayed in the barns because during the war there just weren't enough white men to operate the service. Then, in May 1943, several thousand people, black and white, marched through the streets of Washington demanding the FEPC order Capital Transit to integrate. The FEPC finally acted, and the company began training several African American operators. The first, a man named Simmons, finished his preliminary training, but when he arrived for road instruction at Trinidad Division, white operators refused to train him. Shamefully, union leaders failed to denounce the actions of the men. The company then began hiring a few white women, while streetcars and buses remained crowded as service continued to be cut. Desegregation at Capital Transit had one more chance at the end of the war when the federal government seized the company during a wildcat strike over wages in 1945. New President Harry Truman, however, failed to enforce the FEPC order to desegregate. Charles Hamilton Houston, the former NAACP General Counsel, resigned from the FEPC in disgust. The 5-year battle to desegregate had been lost, but the struggle continued.
Everything gonna be all right this morning. Oh yeah.
Lyle C. Carter and Victor Daley of the Urban League kept up pressure. A crucial change came when Walter Bierwagen was elected president of the union. Bierwagen began meeting with civil rights leaders, the Public Service Commission, and federal representatives on integration. In 1954, Bierwagen asked the union's executive board for a vote in favor of integration. It passed 5-3. The issue went to a union meeting where it passed on a voice vote. The company's last excuse was gone.
I'm a man. I spell him a child in that relevant lane. Lobby, oh child, why?
Hundreds of African Americans worked in maintenance jobs for Capital Transit, and one of the first to come over to streetcar operations when the doors were opened was William Pop Saunders. Saunders had been working in the Georgia Avenue plow pit where power on the cars was changed from overhead to underground. Saunders became a bus operator when streetcar service ended and eventually became the first operator of the new Metro trains in 1976.